on the run, baby, long as I'm next to you.
After a startling new video of GloRilla with NBA player Brandon Ingram went viral online, fans went crazy over her personal life. However, she is currently dealing with a serious legal situation that could drastically change her life, so that's probably the least of her problems. A lot is going on with GloRilla. Let's analyze it. The Cabo connection. Consider this. Gualalua, whose real name is Gloria Hallelujah Woods, is celebrating her 26th birthday on July 27, 2025, in the lavish setting of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. If you know Glo, you know that she has been putting in a lot of work since her breakout track, FNF Let's Go, went viral in 2022. The girl, who had previously worked at a fast food restaurant, turned into one of the most successful female rappers in the business, selling over 25 million records in the United States and being nominated for a Grammy. When it comes time to celebrate another year of life, you can be certain that she will do it right. But this is when the exciting part begins. And trust me, your boy had to do some in-depth investigation to differentiate fact from fiction. On July 28, 2025, TMZ claimed to have exclusive footage, which sent social media into overdrive. The video showed GloRilla cuddling up to Brandon Ingram, a 6'8" NBA forward who was recently traded to the Toronto Raptors, at the Balam nightclub in Cabo. Since the details are always the most important, let me now clarify what this video shows. The primary video takes place in this gloomy nightclub, and I'm talking about the retro nightclub aesthetic. With the Balam sign gleaming in the distance, purple neon lights casting shadows all around, and the heart-pounding intensity that comes only from a Mexican birthday party. With the video, GloRilla is seen looking stunning with a strapless top and jewelry that gleams in every light in the bar, while Brandon Ingram is dressed precisely but casually in his denim jacket. This is the subject of discussion. The chemistry is undeniable. We see GloRilla wrap her arms around Ingram's neck in what can only be described as a private moment. Embrace, their body language is really evident as they sway to the music. Despite the fact that there isn't any kissing or particularly graphic activity taking place, as if it were the Zapruder film, social media users have been dissecting every single frame of the 37-second clip. The video doesn't stop there, though. The real tea comes from what happened after they left the club. Consider this. Approximately 3 o'clock in the morning. As the festivities draw to a close, now GloRilla and Brandon Ingram leave hand in hand, seemingly comfortable with each other. In the exterior footage, they can be seen boarding a light-colored SUV. This is when it gets very cute, you guys. GloRilla is sitting in the rear seat with 2 phones because she has to record everything for the grams. Additionally, she is smiling and making funny movements with this gold phone in her hand, while Brandon sits beside her, also using his phone, and seems relaxed and happy.
Okay, well, I did want to, talk about GloRilla because she got her a boo now.
Okay.
Now, Charlamagne, you can be all up in her business because it's basically public at this point.
But this is where the story gets even more interesting. GloRilla, being the social media savvy performer that she is, shared her trip to Cabo. She posted several pictures from her birthday vacation to Instagram, and one of them featured fans posing as investigators, seemingly working for the FBI. Though the story just shows a man's arm, savvy fans soon started to speculate that, given the tattoos and physique, it might be Brandon Ingram's arm. Sometimes quiet speaks louder than words, even if she didn't identify him or tag him.
She popped out. So her and Brandon Ingram were spotted first in a club in Cabo. She's been celebrating her birthday. And in the video, she's like hugging him and they walk in together. And then additionally, there's a video that now, is being reported of them two in the car. And it's really cute. She has 2 phones. She has one for the light. She's holding up the other one. And they're like, just making a video together. So,
salute to them.
It looks like, she might got her little boo thing.
Let's talk about why this combo has captured everyone's interest. since it goes beyond merely to celebrities sharing a snapshot. There are several reasons why GloRilla and Brandon Ingram seem to be genuinely compatible. The first factor to be considered is age. GloRilla is 26 and Brandon is 27. As a result, they are in the perfect situation where they can succeed in their careers and still have time for leisure. Next is the regional connection. Brandon Ingram hails from Kinston, North Carolina, while GloRilla hails from the Fraser neighborhood of Memphis, Tennessee. They both grew up in the South. Additionally, if you are familiar with Southern culture, that same ancestry creates an instant connection. The height dynamic is also drawing attention, and to be honest, it's kind of adorable. Brandon Ingram is a stunning 6'8", while GloRilla is around 5 feet 5, creating this classic pair of short girls and tall guys that are quite well liked on social media. As a result of fans creating artwork and memes that show them together, the level of participation has increased dramatically. What is many truly interested in this potential collaboration, though, is the timing. GloRilla has stated in November 2024 that she would be single and chaste until God provided her husband, demonstrating her willingness to be open about her relationship status. For someone who has been working hard to advance both professionally and personally, the prospect of opening her heart to a new person is a major problem. Similarly, throughout his NBA career, Brandon Ingram has kept his personal life extremely private. Therefore, it is more likely that this is more than just a casual encounter, given that he was seen with someone in such a private setting. The overwhelmingly positive social media response is truly remarkable in an era where celebrity relationships are regularly the focus of harsh scrutiny and criticism. Admirers have been complimenting what they consider to be a perfect fit and using phrases like power couple vibes. In one of the most well-liked postings, which got over 4,000 likes, users made jokes about their chemistry. It is often believed that people are genuinely happy for both of them. We will explore this story in further detail in the following section, looking at the couple's past and potential future, as well as the relationship histories of both of them and the context of an NBA star dating a musician. Let's take a closer look at GloRilla and Brandon Ingram's romantic histories after talking about how this purported affair came to light. Because being aware of their past relationships give us crucial context for understanding what might be happening between them at the moment. And trust me when I tell you that each of these individuals has a fascinating past of relationships that have shaped who they are today. Let's start with GloRilla, whose dating history is more of a masterclass in setting limits and learning from the past than your typical celebrity dating timeline. Her relationship with a man she referred to online as Davis on Earth was the most important one she has ever had, and the one that seemed to have had the biggest impact on her approach to love. She appears to talk about this link from her pre-fame days the most. GloRilla has described the immense drama and suffering that marked this relationship. Fans linked GloRilla to Dabizer after she opened up about a particularly dramatic event in 2023, where she nearly shot her ex-boyfriend after a quarrel. To dispel any misunderstandings, GloRilla has been open and honest about growing as a person and taking lessons from these situations. But it shows how much emotional pressure she was dealing with in her past relationships. By 2024, Davis and Earth were posting reflective notes on their time together on social media, along with before and after pictures, suggesting that their breakup coincided with her rise to fame and the changes that came with it. The timeline of GloRilla's purported courtship, starting with her rise to her degree of notoriety, is actually quite low, which demonstrates how prejudiced she is. According to celebrity dating trackers, there was a brief romance with Drake in 2022, although there is no proof to corroborate this story. No combined appearances, remarks, or photographs support it. Given Drake's extensive dating history, this kind of speculation is unavoidable, although GloRilla has never specifically addressed it. In February 2024, GloRilla became well known after publicly insulting Damian Lillard of the Milwaukee Bucks during the NBA All-Star Game. She stated that she wanted him and joked that his ex-wife couldn't compete, which sparked widespread suspicions. However, Lillard ended the relationship speculations in October 2024 by stating that they were only friends. GloRilla subsequently described it as a playful flirtation, although she admitted that no genuine bond developed. Now, let's concentrate on Brandon Ingram, whose prior partnerships have been characterized by a great level of seclusion and caution. Rumors of love relationships have been heightened in the entertainment and sports media due to Ingram's reputation for living a very quiet life and often avoiding public displays or confirmations. In 2018, Ingram was linked to Ray Linens, a California-based exotic dancer, YouTuber, and Instagram model with over 600,000 followers, while he was playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. This collaboration was notable because of the strict rules that were purportedly adhered to. INZ had to sit in the higher tiers at Lakers games, was not permitted to publicly exhibit Ingram's face, and was forbidden from talking about their connection online. The relationship was regarded as calm but strained, and she was accused of being treated like a side girl by Ingram. They reportedly split up at the end of 2018 due to infidelity allegations. Ingram's relationship with Amber Washington, who suggested infidelity with Inns by posting on social media that he was seeing other women, was the subject of concurrent rumors by making cryptic remarks about Ingram's views and claiming preferred seating at games. Washington generated social media drama that highlighted the complexities of dating while playing basketball professionally. Ingram has a close relationship with model and influencer Aaliyah Petty, who announced her pregnancy in 2019. Despite early reports that Ingram was the father of her 2020 boy, Petty has disclosed that the child was actually with Portland Trail Blazers guard Ann Fernie Simons. Their brief and informal relationship was finally clarified during the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend, which led to some media misunderstanding as certain outlets kept bringing up Ingram in relation to the incident. Sources claim that Ingram's encounter with R&B singer Paloma Ford was more of a casual acquaintance than a long-term partnership. The Ford uploaded a photo of the two of them together on Instagram, sparking rumors of a romance. But there was no hard proof of a committed relationship, and the debate eventually died down. Because GloRilla and Brandon Ingram seem to have learned from their mistakes and are now more selective about who they let into their lives. Their relationship histories are particularly fascinating. Furthermore, looking at their previous relationships reveals some interesting patterns that might point to compatibility. Both have previous experience working in the entertainment industry. GloRilla is obviously a musician, and Ingram is, as seen by his many connections to performers and influencers. Both have devised strategies for maintaining a certain level of privacy in the face of public scrutiny of their private lives, and they seem to favor genuine connection and sincerity over fleeting attraction or celebrity. But this combination has a disadvantage. Relationships between NBA players and artists typically don't work out. Let's present a few historical examples. Let's start with what is arguably the most striking example in contemporary history. Nick Young and Iggy Azalea started dating in 2013, and their engagement in 2015 marked the end of their affair. An NBA champion and a young rapper living together and making plans seemed perfect on the surface. A future. However, one of the most explosive controversies in NBA musician relationships history occurred in 2016. Lakers teammate D'Angelo Russell leaked a tape in which Young confessed to adultery, causing not just a breakup but also locker room strife that ultimately led to Russell's trade. Alea accused Young of betraying her by calling off their engagement, and Young's career suffered as the scandal overshadowed his professional achievements. The short-lived romance in 2012 between Jay, another warning story, is that of R. Smith. and Rihanna, who started having PDA in clubs when Smith was with the Knicks. After Rihanna publicly humiliated Smith on social media, an innocuous celebrity connection quickly turned into toxic conduct. Social media saying that his success in the playoffs was due to his partying and accused him of being thirsty. Sparked conversations about how romances affect athletes, professionalism, and illustrated how quickly a public romance can turn into a source of embarrassment. The most relevant cautionary tale for GloRilla and Ingram, meanwhile, might be the collaboration between 10J's and Ben Simmons in 2017 and 2018. Similar to our current situation, this pairing of a young NBA player and an up-and-coming R&B artist seemed perfect on paper. The relationship ended due to accusations of infidelity, though, as Tina Shea used her sorrow to write breakup songs that effectively validated Simmons' adultery. The fact that Simmons quickly moved on after their very publicized breakup so far. The story that Kendall Jenner created has damaged both of their reputations. The tendency becomes even more concerning when we take into account recent events. From 2024 to 2025, Chicago Bulls player Torrey Craig dated rapper Megan Thee Stallion. However, scandal erupted after a woman claimed that Craig had pursued her during their relationship and released explicit conversations and payment receipts from him. This scandal sparked conversations about infidelity tendencies in NBA hip-hop partnerships and highlighted how social media has made it impossible to hide private indiscretions. Perhaps the most disastrous example is the 2016 marriage of Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor, who seemed like the perfect NBA musician power couple. They has 2 daughters and appeared to be starting a beautiful family. But in 2023, Taylor filed for divorce, citing emotional and mental abuse, selfishness, and infidelity. Taylor claimed that during the acrimonious split, which involved custody, battles and public statements, Shumpert jeopardized their safety. This proved that partnerships lasting 7 years and producing children are nevertheless impacted by the unique pressures of NBA musician pairings. Approximately 70% of NBA musician partnerships that have been documented dissolve within a year, mostly due to scheduling issues, public pressure, or adultery scandals. The reasons behind the failure are incredibly dependable. Intense media coverage that turns personal problems into public spectacles. The demanding travel plans that provide chances for extramarital affairs. The money and legal issues that usually follow high-profile splits, and work-related distractions that hinder productivity. Speaking of court cases, GloRilla is currently facing a startling legal situation that could impact her personal life as well as her potential connection with Brandon England. Days before the widely shared CABO video, GloRilla was in court. Something that adds a whole new level of complexity to this story and shows how deep GloRilla's drama is. Been handling it recently. This is where the story truly takes off. As a result, while everyone else was focused on that stunning Cabo film, GloRilla was dealing with a serious legal problem that is a prime example of the kind of problems that may destroy any potential connection with Brandon Ingram. On July 20th, 2025, at around 1:30 a.m., 3 individuals are charged with breaking into GloRilla's home in Forsyth County, Georgia. But here's the worst part. She wasn't there. And was she? Performed at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis, she was having the time of her life. An armed occupant of the house shot at the invaders, but they were able to flee unharmed. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Family members staying at the house had to call the police to report what must have been an absolutely horrific incident. You would think that the police would do all in their power to catch the criminals who broke into her home, right? Not true.
Well, it just depends. If what the victim has is open and notorious. If there was weed all over, if there were guns all over, then law enforcement goes, wait a minute, we'll still investigate this, but we're going to have to investigate the new one. If it's right in their face, they can't turn it down. They've got to do what they've got to do. And if you don't break the law, you don't have any problem, do you?
When deputies discovered what they claimed was a strong odor typical of illegal narcotics, they obtained a search warrant while looking into her victimization. They discovered a Schedule I controlled substance and more than 1 ounce of marijuana in the master bedroom closet. GloRilla was abruptly charged with 2 felonies, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in jail, and a maximum fine of each count will cost $10,000. The irony of that is rather amazing. GloRilla voluntarily turned himself in on July 22, 2025, and was released on the same day after posting a $22,260 bond. The 3 people who actually committed a major crime breaking into her home are still at large, unpunished, and free to potentially hurt others. GloRilla expressed his displeasure with this injustice. On social media, she called the situation crazy and bemoaned the focus on cannabis instead of apprehending the actual offenders. When my house was broken into on Saturday, they were more concerned with getting some cannabis than they were with finding the criminals. In conclusion, I am the only person arrested after my house is broken into. She had a good legal team. Legal experts Marisa Goldberg and Drew Finneling called the arrest a disturbing illustration of the changing priorities of law enforcement. Miss Woods is a victim rather than a suspect. They draw attention to the fact that when a victim of crime is prosecuted, but the actual criminals escape punishment, taxpayer funds are squandered. But that's where it becomes even more interesting. Georgia State reporter Eric Bell has maintained that the charges need to be dismissed, the case linking it to his House Bill 464, which aims to prevent arrests for minor, unconnected charges when people report crimes. Unfortunately, stories like hers are not unusual. Bell stated, "No one, regardless of fame, background, or zip code, should fear being criminalized for doing the right thing. Too often, Black victims in particular face criminal threats for simply seeking legal aid, legal enforcement." This takes her potential relationship with Brandon Ingram full circle. This legal issue is an example of the kind of turmoil that has destroyed relationships between NBA musicians. Keep in mind that GloRilla has previously run into Georgia law enforcement. She was arrested for having an open container, driving under the influence, and failing to obey a system of traffic control, and that case hasn't been resolved yet. Let's start by talking about the events that we are aware of after the initial TMZ video was made public online on July 28, 2025, and the silence has been fascinatingly deafening, to be honest. Grizzly and Brandon Ingram have not mentioned each other on social media, and neither of their representatives have made any comments. This is particularly crucial because, in this day and age, publicists usually use carefully crafted social media posts or remarks to confirm, deny, or at the very least address celebrity relationships. But it's precisely this that makes their silence so fascinating. It's organized. Ingram is known for being incredibly quiet, but he has remained focused on adjusting to his recent trade to the Toronto Raptors and training throughout the offseason. In addition to promoting her music and taking pride in recent accolades like the 2025 Billboard Women in Music Powerhouse Award, GloRilla has been juggling these important legal concerns. What are GloRilla and Brandon Ingram going to do next? Being fully aware of the landmines that have destroyed similar collaborations and accounting for the additional burden of pending legal proceedings. On the plus side, GloRilla's declaration of chastity in November 2024, in which she claimed to have been single and celibate until God sent her her spouse, suggests that she is not seeking casual relationships, since Ingram is known for keeping a high degree of secrecy. His willingness to be seen in public with someone is a significant departure from his usual get closer. The favorable social media reaction from supporters who believe that their age and Southern ancestry make them a power couple suggests that the public is on their side. Let's be absolutely honest about the challenges they faced since history is against them. The 82 games and playoffs, the lengthy travel, and the mental and physical demands of competing at the highest level make the NBA season exhausting. Ingram is adapting to his new situation after being relocated to Toronto. With over 25 million recordings sold in the US, GloRilla is at the height of her career, yet she may face jail time if found guilty of a felony. The legal situation adds to an already unprecedented level of stress. According to historical data, musicians commonly suffer from the enormous inability to commit that accompanies with tough occupations and a lot of travel. NBA players also face similar challenges. When you factor in court dates, legal fees, media attention, arrests, and the possibility of jail time, a relationship disaster is unavoidable. GloRilla's respectful management of her legal issues and the manner in which they handled the initial press give me hope. Unlike couples who immediately post on social media, they have maintained their anonymity. Unlike collaborations that start real moments gave way to phony marketing gimmicks, GloRilla has persevered and is still scheduled to perform, including her GloBash concert in Memphis on July 25, 2025. Unlike many celebrities who crumble under legal pressure, I think we are looking at three distinct circumstances based on my research on their personalities, prior relationships, current career pathways, complex legal issues, and historical trends. By the fall of 2025, there is a 50% possibility that the legal position will produce too much stress and confusion, leading to the quiet disappearance of this potential relationship. The duties of court hearings, potential penalty, and news coverage of the case will likely eclipse any romantic development. The second possibility is that the charges are dropped or settled, which has a 30% chance. If they develop a serious relationship by early 2026, as Rapper Lobel is trying to do, Ingram might provide stability in the midst of her legal issues. This would require extreme caution and mutual crisis support. The third alternative, which has a 20% probability of occurring, is that they continue to have a casual relationship that could develop into something significant after her legal issues are resolved, which could happen in 2026 or 2027. It's clear that GloRilla is currently dealing with much more than dating allegations. After her home was violated, she is fighting for justice, her freedom, and her reputation. No matter how alluring a relationship may seem, avoiding felony convictions that could destroy everything she has worked so hard to achieve must come first. For the short future, the view is fairly bleak. But if justice is done, there is hope for the long term. In the real world, even the most promising relationships might be disrupted by legal challenges and possibly jail time. But in fairy tales, love may triumph over all barriers. First and foremost, GloRilla needs to get her name cleared. Brandon Ingram and everything else will have to wait. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other amazing videos on the channel. We appreciate your time and hope to see you again soon.